Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another delicious yet low-fat episode of TGR's Gaming Nights of the Round Table. I am once again your big-nosed loudmouth host, Mr. Ryan Scully. As is always the case with TGR, we're going to go down the list and talk about the games that we're currently playing, other than Football Manager. William Govan,
yes.
What is your game of the week, sir?
My game of the week? Wow. I would have to say Avernum.
What?
Avernum. What one am I playing? Escape from the Pit. It's kind of like... You ever get when your games go out of your head and you forget all the names? Baldur's Gate. It's like Baldur's Gate. It's like a really old RPG kind of thing.
Wow.
It's very fun, but it's still expensive. I think it's like 15 quid, but I got it part of a Humble Bundle, so it's quite cheap.
Is that the Good Friends bundle, or is that a different one?
It was a couple weeks ago I got it. It was one of the weekly ones.
Cool. What else did you get in the bundle?
In that particular one, it was all literally Avernum games, so it was...
I see.
Some were DRM free and some were Steam codes, so end up with around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 8 games.
Not bad. Not bad at all. So had you played them before, or is this your first time playing them?
Well, it was during the Steam sale, so it was either I get Avernum or I get Baldur's Gate 2, which is just the one game, so I thought I'll go for quantity over quality for this one.
Yeah.
And thankfully they are actually quite good as well, so it's not like I'm losing anything.
Yeah, it's not like you made like a terrible decision in retrospect.
Like I did with Duke Nukem.
Oh yes.
Didn't we all?
No. I played the demo and learnt from that.
I managed to get right to the end before I realised that I'd really damaged myself.
Okay, so moving on. Vinny, what is your game of the week?
Well, it's gotta be Half-Life 2. I've gone back.
Oh, yeah.
I've gone back to that. I got it in the Steam Summer Sale, and I've been going through tons of indie games, and I just went back on the Half-Life 2. I was like, oh yeah, I'll give this a go. And I've blitzed it in 2 days or something. I'm nearly at the end now.
Have you played it before?
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say.
I'm one of those tortured souls who's waiting for Half-Life 3.
It's never going to happen.
Well, I know what will happen.
You heard it here first.
It will be released on Xbox Live Arcade as a 2D platformer starring a wise-cracking head crab named Jeremy, or something equally dark.
I would play that shit!
Actually, yeah, do you know what? So would I. At first I'd be like, aww, and then I'd play it.
They've made Mario a cat now.
He's trying to find his princess and latch to her.
Don't diss the Cat Mario, by the way. Cat Mario is the best thing that's ever happened to me.
But yeah, it's been Half-Life 2 and the standard FIFA 13. And, oh yes, I've been playing Endless Space. I picked that up in the Steam Summer Sale.
Oh, cool.
That's a really, really thinking man's game.
How so?
It's a strategy game. It's not like the Total War series where that's mainly all about the battles and stuff like that. It's all about like that grand campaign, the grand strategy map sort of thing, and you kind of work from there. There's a really, really brutal learning curve, but once you get around that, you actually really, really enjoy it.
See, I like to think that Endless Space is just you drifting endlessly throughout the cosmos, and like you win the game when you suddenly come upon a gigantic realization and figure out the meaning of life. In fact, somebody should get hold of Peter Molyneux and pitch it to him. He'll probably think it's the best idea ever.
Yeah, I have the most ultimate strategy game.
What if, like, we had a racing game, but instead of playing as the car, you played as the Axis?
Why is Peter Molyneux now Lloyd Grossman?
Look, yeah.
Maybe
Peter Molyneux's...
two different people. Maybe Peter Molyneux will one day pull off a mask and just it's Lloyd Grossman behind it.
And then Jack of Blades arrives and we turn into tomatoes.
Who lives in a house like this?
You know, the last lasagna I made was okay, but the next one will definitely be better.
The last RPG was okay, but the next one will definitely be better.
I love Peter Molyneux.
The next lasagna will have a dog that you'll really connect with.
Oh,
And an acorn you can grow into a tree.
Oh, people, shut the fuck up about the acorn!
Moving on. This has already raised some blood pressure, I think. Our good friend Toby, what's your game of the week, sir?
Probably Pikmin 3. I've been playing that quite a lot.
I've been meaning to pick that up.
Yeah, I got it on launch, but I haven't actually got that far in. But I've been playing as much as I can. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far.
Oh,
I'm a newcomer to the Pikmin series. I've never really played any of the others.
No, nor have I. After Pikmin Adventure on the Nintendo Land game for Wii U, it looked like a really good series, and ever since then I've had my eye on Pikmin 3. It looks great.
I got to say,
it's one of them ones that I always meant to pick up, but never actually got around to it, and then the third one came out, and I thought, well, I might as well start with this one. Yeah, it's really good. It looks really good as well. Like the water effects and the lighting, they're really.
I mean, it looks stunning.
Cool.
That's what I was going to say. Is it looks really beautiful with the way they've actually saturated all the colours. It's like an acid trip.
It is like a weird. Yeah, it looks good. It's good.
Oh, great. And how are you getting on? Because I'm still playing it myself. I haven't had a lot of chance to play it, to plough through it. But are you still playing the new Mario and Luigi RPG?
Yeah, I'm about 15 hours in. Still going. I'm still enjoying that. It's all the Luiginary works. That's a really hard word to say. I love all them in the dream world.
I've got to say, like, people say Bowser's Inside Story is the best one, but thus far, I'm about 8 to 9 hours in, and so far, it's easily my favourite out of all of that series. I'm loving it.
This one, then. Yeah.
Sorry? Yeah, definitely.
I mean, this one, yeah.
Yeah, Bowser's Inside Story was good, but it got a little bit too repetitive, whereas this one, they're constantly throwing new stuff at you, and I think that's, for an RPG...
Yeah, you literally learn things the whole way.
Yeah, exactly. You never stop like picking up new items or new abilities. So I really appreciate that about that. It does everything in its power to keep you like going and to keep you excited. So yeah, fantastic game.
Yeah, it is a good one.
Brilliant. And
I'm still going for it. I'm still on Animal Crossing as well, like James. I'm
I think it's safe to say this podcast beginning to sound like an intervention, to be honest with you. The amount of people that are kind of secretly playing Animal Crossing and just like, oh, I was playing Animal Crossing. Just like really reluctant to admit it.
Thank God I don't have a DS.
It's a part-time job. It really is.
And I think on that note, it leaves us to ask James Simpking what his game of the week must be, although I think we've pretty much figured that out by now.
Actually, I'm going to change that one and say that I've been swooning over Michael Bean in Blood Dragon.
Oh, what a great game. What a great game.
I played it.
I mean, it's a lot, it's quite, simplified in a lot of ways from, the original Far Cry 3.
Which is amazing.
But the dialogue, it's so amazing. It is just...
This little piggy went to the morgue.
It's just so terrible. It's amazing.
It's so good. And I read an interview. A lot of people have been interviewing the creators of Blood Dragon recently. They've kind of come out and are willing to speak about it now. And it just sounds like the people involved had a fun time making it. Just like they went into a boardroom meeting thinking nobody's going to pick this up. And then the executives were like, yeah, we love it. Go ahead and make it. You got 6 months. And in 6 months, they just slapped a neon filter on Blood Dragon, got Michael Bean to like record as much hammy dialogue as he could, and just came out with fucking gold.
It's just got like, I was watching a video of it with him there like in a recording studio, just waving this bit of paper. It's like, I've got 12 fucks on one page.
Yeah, they did kind of overdo the swearing a bit. I thought, considering it was like a Saturday morning cartoon, they could have toned down the swearing because it kind of created a bit of an uneven kind of atmosphere or tone, if you like. Yeah. But it all... I'm not going to ruin the end. Suffice to say, the ending is the most glorious thing ever.
Well, I think so far the best thing about it, and it makes it the best thing of the last 2 years, was simply the fact that when you hold down the trigger on a minigun, he does a classic 80s...
Yes, every time without fail. It's the greatest. If anybody loves Far Cry 3, and you should, because it's one of my favourite games of last year, Blood Dragon is just... And you love 80s tat. If you love 80s nonsense, like bad synth, neon, hammy dialogue, you have to play Blood Dragon. It
I mean, it
sounds
was-
Sounds like the age that I wanted to be born in, pretty much.
Mm.
So I don't know why
Exactly.
I haven't picked it up yet.
The music is amazing as well, but it's only like what, 800 points, 1,200 points.
It's very cheap, yeah. I picked it up on Steam. It was the first game I bought for my new computer, actually, and like I was sitting there like, 2-second loading times. Fuck you, 360. Whack all the graphic settings up to full pelt, 60 frames per second. I think that's part of the reason I enjoyed the game so much. But yeah, it's dirt cheap. You get a good few hours out of it. It's great. You got to pick it up.
Yeah, I've also been playing with a game that's been getting quite a bit of attention lately. Is Rogue Legacy.
Fantastic game.
I'm enjoying it, but I'm finding it's very, very contrived. It's
Yeah, it is.
it rips a lot off of the ideas from Terraria. If you ever played that one,
Not played Terraria. I played a little bit of Terraria. It didn't really click.
Yeah,
Really.
it bored me.
Terraria was I thought it was amazing when you actually get into it and then end up losing a good week of your life to it. But I mean, I found the concept of Rogue Legacy was good. I mean, in that it goes a bit towards Dark Souls and saying you will die, but each time you die, it's just essentially you checkpointing, really.
Yeah. But what I really like about it is the just when you die, like having a new air, if you like, going into the castle, and I like that they give you the option to lock the castle in place. So if you like the layout or you've learnt the layout, you can keep it there. You're constantly unlocking stuff. You can, there's a fantastic risk-reward mechanic going on there, where for this price or for that consequence, you can do this or you can do that to make the game easier or harder. And I don't know, I mean, yes, there are instances where it's contrived. You walk into a room and there's just spikes all over the show, and yeah, you are going to die if you don't have the right character class. But at the same time, I think the risk and reward mechanics kind of even that out a little bit. Because it's a roguelike, even if you die, that doesn't even matter. You just spawn a new character and try again until you get it right. So,
But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm enjoying it. I mean, it's I suppose it's one of those games where every single human being will have to play it for at least probably 4 hours, and then once anyone hits that 4-hour limit, then you just hammer the rest of the game.
yeah,
Because-
I mean, go on.
Because by that point you've collected enough gold and that you'll be useless until that point, and then the difficulty curve just flattens.
I've noticed that, yeah, especially when you unlock certain character classes. There are certain character classes which will annihilate the enemies, and you'll find that you'll rely on them a hell of a lot for the remainder of your campaign, if you like.
Yeah.
But I've still got plenty to go. I've played it for hours and hours, and I still feel like I've barely scratched the surface. There's the depths, which are always at the bottom of the castle, no matter what the layout. And I don't even dare go down there. The current level I'm at, you're gone within like 3 screens worth of dungeon before you even. But even so, great.
Yeah. All right. Well.
I think that just leaves myself to explain the game I'm playing, because we've gone on a little bit. Currently, I'm playing the new Mario & Luigi RPG, as you all know. Still playing that, still loving that. Still playing Dishonored. I play that in between bouts of Mario & Luigi. And a little PC game that cost me £1.30 called Savant, which is by D-Pad Studio, the people that are making Owlboy. And it's essentially an advertisement for the dubstep artist Savant. It's an incredibly short game, which is why it's only £1.30. But the crux of it is you're on 2 lifts just careening towards the top of this castle. And you've got these guns, you've got a grappling hook, and you've got dodge maneuvers. And you basically have to blast the crap out of everything while these escalators are ascending. You've got to dodge it. You can upgrade your weapons. You can upgrade your maneuvers. And then when you get to the top, there's finally this boss battle, all to this absolutely thumping dubstep soundtrack. And it's brilliant. I don't normally like dubstep, but it really lends itself to the game. And considering you can see everything it has to offer in about 5 or 10 minutes, it is just pulse pounding the whole time. Bloody brilliant game. So yeah, that's good. I've also been on Steam and downloaded way too many things just because I've got the money, people. Return to Castle Wolfenstein was £1.30, so I bought that. I'm looking forward to playing through that again because I haven't touched that since I was 12. So yeah, that's what we've all been up to. Let's kick this podcast off with possibly the saddest news I've ever heard. Fez 2's been cancelled, guys.
It didn't. affect me as much because I've never played Fez 1, but it's still quite sad because a
Vince,
lot of people do like it.
I think you need to leave, play Fez, and come back.
I have a Mac. I can't download it.
I think you need to take a
fault.
moment, right? Just calm down, sit down, have a cup of tea.
Yep.
Take 10 minutes, go get a PC, order it off the internet, and then get Fez and just,
James,
come back.
I was eating tuna out of the can. How would I have money for a PC? That was one of the first games that I actually went to go and buy in the Steam Summer Sale, and it kind of crushed me a little that I couldn't play it. So, yeah, but the whole thing surrounding it was a bit of a.
Well, you see, that's probably just as interesting as the fact that the game was cancelled, is the whole controversy surrounding the scenario. But the crux of it is Phil Fish, the creator of Fez, who's a little bit prone to temper tantrums, got a lot of crap off a lot of different people in his career. Some might say justified, some might say not quite justified. And he basically went on Twitter and said, I'm done with games. I'm done with all the attention. I'm done with all the shit and all the name calling and the shit slinging that I've put up with. Fez 2's cancelled. Bye. I retire. I'm done. Polytron, his studio, is still going. They're looking at getting Fez onto... They might even be looking at getting it onto the Mac, but they're definitely looking at getting it on the PlayStation, and they're still going to be releasing updates for the Steam and Xbox version, but there will be no Fez 2. There will be none.
For now.
I think it's going to be one of those things. He'll come back in like a year's or even like half a year, or even a couple of months, and be like, I kind of miss games, and I'm going to make it now.
I think
if it's just one of those spur of the moment temper tantrums, because he hasn't got any editors to say no, you can't say that stuff, so he's probably just gone on Twitter.
Well, I was thinking about it earlier. Like, he doesn't have a PR department. He's one guy. So there's not going to be some guy who, like Activision or EA, talks out, business spiel out of their gold-plated arsehole to make everything sound great. Phil Fish is a guy at the end of the day, and he will turn around and say Japanese games suck. He will turn around and say this or that and upset another person. People seem afraid of the human aspect of that. Somebody has the balls to say something that they don't like, and they will attack him for it.
Well, it's not that. I think the fact is the territory he's moving into takes a level of responsibility. Like, he's got to take well, I suppose it's the whole Spider-Man argument. Great power comes great responsibility, right?
Phil Fish is Spider-Man. You heard it here first on the game.
Right, and the thing is, I'm going to have to agree with what was said earlier. I think he's going to have to sit in the corner for a bit, have a Farley's fucking rusk, chill out, and then say, yeah, I'm sorry. Right, didn't mean to. Right, because he acts like a fucking child, and the fact is,
he can, yeah.
With the attention he's getting, right, it's all fine saying, "Oh yeah, he's a human guy, he's relatable, I like him," right? But the fact is, when you're doing that well, you kind of have to fucking button up your shirt and wipe the shit off your face.
It seemed like
if you're in the limelight like he is, then you're always just gonna get crap from anyone. It doesn't matter who you are, even if you're the nicest guy in the world.
He doesn't help himself, admittedly. He needs to know that sometimes when you're as outspoken as he is, you're going to rub people up the wrong way, and he's not used to it.
He's a diva as well. That's the thing.
Yes.
He relishes in it.
It doesn't help that he completely focused on the negatives. He never really spoke of any of the positives. I'm sure there's plenty of people who liked what he did.
Yeah, loads of people did. I mean, Fez is one of my favourite games of all time. I would fund the new Fez 2 if I had millions of pounds in the studio, and I would kidnap Phil Fish and go, get in there, you Canadian fuck, and finish the sequel. Nothing against Canadians, it's just I couldn't really think of a more appropriate adjective at the time.
Just so you know, viewers, Ryan does have a real issue with fucks, though, so...
With fucks? Yeah, I don't like fucks.
I guess the only person he's really comparable at the moment to is Marcus Pearson, the guy who created Minecraft.
Is Marcus Pearson really that bad as well? Is he?
Well, no, I meant like the kind of the success,
yeah,
all the people coming at him, and he's just completely ignored it and just got on with whatever he's doing.
But at the same time, I don't think Fez is the same level of success that Minecraft is. Minecraft might as well have its own flag, for God's sake. It's ridiculously popular. But yeah, sad times, people. Sad times. No Fez.
Maybe it's best, though. Maybe You don't want to see a dark, gritty, Fez game like 10 years down the line with like a brand new celebrity voice cast and sexy new actresses mo-capped into it. Right.
Fez resolutions, Fez absolution. What are those? What other words do they use? Like
Revelation,
Infinity.
Revelation, Infinity.
Fez Black Ops Call of Duty Dog 12.
At first,
Fez.
though, it sounded like James was describing like Fez mixed with Limbo.
Oh wow!
Wait, when
be
did Limbo have
interesting.
sexy mocap chicks in it?
No, you're talking about it being dark and gritty.
Oh god, I wish Limbo had sexy mocap chicks.
Maybe that's a DLC they'll release sometime down the line.
Did you not see the legs on that spider? Oh,
Oh god, now we're walking into Metal Gear Solid 4 territory, and I don't like that. So
I'm yet to play Metal Gear Solid 4. I was happy enough with 3. I thought that was great. I played that recently. Really enjoyed it.
Ryan,
Yeah.
you should check out Amazon. They're selling the Legacy Collection for like 35 quid.
Don't have a PS4.
PS3.
Don't have a PS3.
None of us
Oh.
have a PS4.
don't we?
Oh,
So, who else has some gaming news that they want to talk about? Who wants to bring something to the fore?
Did you see that Saints Row 4 finally got accepted into Australia?
Yeah,
Oh,
they basically replaced all of the characters with sheep and all of the guns with bananas.
They had to take out one mission. That was all that was like doing something, and the Australians apparently never told them. So it was just like, you figure it out, and we'll tell if it's okay.
I love the idea of an entire country trying to keep a secret from their government, just like sort of shh. No, it's like, oh, are you killing people? No, they're robots. They're robots. And it's like, okay, like doing the same shit you did when you were like 10 and your parents don't want you playing violent computer games. And you're like, oh, no, it's okay. They're evil aliens trying to destroy the world. They're not people.
This game with all the violence is absolutely fine, but I've really got a problem with this level where you have to molest a granny. That really makes me blow up my Barbie.
Australians wouldn't blow up their barbecues. Don't be silly.
Now they'd have a
of course
spare.
not. Yeah, but when you're going to need one. Well,
Especially if
what
Saints Row
was
4
the
gets
nature of the mission, do you know? Or
I think it might have been drug related.
It was, and the idea was that you smoked some sort of alien
Yeah,
something or other and
So it
gained...
wasn't even a real drug!
yeah.
Australia has successfully banned a fictional drug.
Australia's been weird down that they've banned some. Didn't they ban Mass Effect 3 as well for or Mass
It was-
First Mass
it was
Why?
Effect?
Because it had the word ass in the title.
Probably. You saw like a bit of alien side boob, and that they just went, no,
So
we
they
can't
banned
run that.
fictional boobs as well.
Just so you know, it was some good side boob.
It was a sorry side boob.
I love me some
It
sorry
wasn't
side boob.
Krogan side boob. Don't worry.
Well,
It was Garrus's side boob.
Scaly
like
side
Left
boob.
4 Dead 2 in Australia, they censored that so that the zombies didn't bleed. But what happened is when they died, they faded away like in a 90s platform game.
Yeah.
You just
The
shot them in
German
the...
version had green blood.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like the old House of the Dead 2. I
Yeah.
remember having that on the Dreamcast. Like it was released when you shot the zombies. It had green blood.
Yeah.
But like in the arcade games, it had red blood, and you had to go through the entire game on the arcade mode just to get red blood.
Yeah.
That's how. I don't understand some games like that. It's clearly it's gonna be blood. So
I
it
like,
doesn't have to make
I
it
like
green.
that you can unlock censorship. It's like, well, blood's a little bit too much, but if they're really good at the game, maybe we'll give them it.
It's like ethics becomes meaningless when you're that skilled.
Yeah, it's like, do you know what, mate? You earned the right to bypass the law. Have some blood in your game.
And
It's
some
like
alien
new
drop.
censored Saints Row. Just if you can complete it on sort of legendary, you can finally start setting fire to old ladies and shit.
It's
And
like, if
using an
I,
aim
watch,
probe.
You can finally use the anal probe gun.
by that logic, if I watch enough pornography, Jenna Jameson owes me a suck job.
Basically, yeah.
Is that what they call it nowadays? A suck job?
Well, you don't blow, that's for sure.
No.
You know, just in my experience.
Limited experience. It's all about the blow.
Let's keep it above the belt here, guys, and that's not a euphemism as well.
It really was. Don't lie to me, Vincent.
It
That was
deserves
such
to
a
be.
euphemism.
Tired of the lies and the deception.
No.
Well, who here, speaking of upcoming releases, there's a lot of 2D releases coming out. I want to talk about these because I don't know what you guys think about 2D gaming. Some people think, 2D, that's so 90s. I'm one of those people who thinks 2D is just, it's perfect. Like, 2D, you can't really go wrong with it. There's no odder camera angles, there's no weird collision detection. I think 2D is still really good. And there's like a load of really good 2D games coming out very soon. We've got Charlie Murder, the new DuckTales game, Guacamelee is coming out on Steam soon, and perhaps most exciting of all, we've got Rayman Legends coming out.
Ah, yes.
I don't know if anybody's excited for any of them.
I am.
Rayman Legends.
Yeah,
But
I think everyone is.
Yeah.
I'm happy about DuckTales, but I'm also filled with disgust at the same time.
How so? How so?
Because it is just gradually becoming more and more apparent that probably over the last 2 years, a pretty sizable portion of releases that anyone has been, like all that the majority of people have been excited about, have all been re-releases or, HD remasterings, and it's kind of showing that we're running out of ideas.
Yeah, there is a bit of that. I mean, the new Duck... Go on.
When you've got people, setting fire to themselves, screaming in ecstasy that Golden Axe is coming out on, Xbox Live Arcade, that's a sad sign, really, isn't it?
Well,
Right,
mostly because Golden Axe was pants.
Get out.
Get
Oh,
the
come
fuck
on.
out.
It was a poor man's Streets of Rage in a loincloth.
And that's the best thing ever.
Nobody disses the loincloth.
No, apparently not, which says a lot. But wasn't the elf called Thaddeus Blunt Thunderbolt or something? Like, he had a really fantastic name, like Gideon Thunderbolt.
That was the dwarf.
Yeah, the dwarf.
Yeah. And
It was a great name. I can't remember what it was.
I can't recall either, but I will remember to the day I die the soundtrack for when little
Gilius Thunderhead.
That was it.
I will remember to the day I die the soundtrack that plays when gnomes steal your shit.
Oh, yes.
Sorry.
I hate those
This
little
turned into
parts.
karaoke.
They're as bad as the fucking egg thieves in Spyro.
Yeah, what?
Those-
Obscure reference of the week.
What? Come on, the egg thieves from Spyro. Don't you remember them?
What, the
Like-
original Spyro?
Like Spyro the Dragon, Spyro Dragon 2.
Oh, they had those sacks, and they
Yeah,
laughed and barked you out.
Yeah, those bastards.
Wow.
Name my
What
vast.
a pent-up rage. From
So much rage.
childhood.
I've not been on a podcast for 2-3 months. Okay,
Yeah,
I've got
I was
too
gonna say,
much.
is this where you've been?
They only let him out last week.
But it's only weeks patrol. But I don't know. I just feel like all these re-releases, we're getting excited just because we're getting the same shit we had 10 years ago.
But it's DuckTales!
I know it's DuckTales, but we already have DuckTales. This is the thing.
Yeah, but
Just-
it's
I
shit
think it's good
graphics.
to bring some things along, like what was it Soul Calibur 2? I was pretty happy. I was pretty happy to say Soul Calibur is the best fighting game ever. They're so good.
That's another argument. Carry on.
For me, Soul Calibur 2 is the best of the series, and if you're going to go back another generation, you just buy a previous gen console, then that's how you're going to play it. But if they're going to bring it at a reasonable price and they haven't just tacked on some shitty HD graphic, well, not shitty HD. If they make it accessible to new consoles, then it's worthwhile.
Yeah. I don't see
And
a
I'm
problem.
late to this one. They're remaking Soul Calibur 2.
Yes.
But
See,
what?
I agree. It is. That was the
Wow.
best one for me.
That is.
That was
Yeah,
my
that's a
favorite
good-
one.
That was one that had
I
Link.
never got, apart from
Yeah, Link.
the Mortal Kombat games, there was no other fighting game that I got into apart from Soul Calibur. and it was just for the sole fact that was the character Nightmare, who was so cool.
And I like the fact that Soul Calibur embraces the console war. It thrives off it. Every single time they bring out a game, you've got console exclusive characters. So for Soul Calibur 2, Nintendo had Link, PlayStation had Heihachi, Xbox had Spawn. Yeah. Right? And it's like, even on like some of the newer ones, like they had
Yoda and Darth Vader.
Yeah, Yoda, Darth Vader for Darth Vader was PS3, wasn't it?
Which I didn't like because Darth Vader was really crap and slow, and if you played the Xbox version and you were against Yoda, then you were screwed, because if you did a horizontal attack, you just hit above his head.
Well, tiny, too small.
Yeah.
I don't really have a problem with remakes being made, because 9 times out of 10 you're in safer hands with a remake than you are with a reimagining. Like, look what they did to Bionic Commando. Like, a really, what started off as this really, not cute, but this really kind of quaint, lovable game with this little green soldier with a bionic arm. And then it's just this, the year is 2105. Everybody kicks each other in the balls and says fuck a lot. And they just...
Blood Dragon.
Yeah, but...
I was going to say,
it's
such power.
But the difference there is that Blood Dragon's really ironic. Like, Bionic Commando, the plot twist is that his wife died but lived in his arm.
What?
Fuck off! That's what...
Is that Metal Gear Solid?
That's the same. No.
I live on in your arm, Snake.
Brother!
Oh, another HD remake which was worth the time was Shadow of the Colossus for the PS3.
Oh, yes.
That is just pretty much my favourite game of all time, and the fact that they brought it out for because it's so hard to get on PS2 unless you're going to pay a lot for it. And then I was just able to rent it from a PS3, and it just made me so happy.
I got my copy of Shadow of the Colossus for the PS2 before I even owned a PS2, because I knew I was going to get one, and I knew I wanted Shadow of the Colossus. It cost me 20 quid, but I had to buy it from India. Like it's really hard to get hold of now. And Ico, or Ico, I pronounce it Ico. Everyone tells me it's
I've always
Ico.
said Ico.
It begins with an I. It's busted in Ico. Anyway, I was in CEX, and like a limited edition copy of Ico, brand new at that point, was like 100 quid. When I went in CEX, it wasn't brand new, but they had on the shelf, like, I just turned around, and right in front of me on the shelf, limited edition, original print, PS2 version of Ico for like 12 quid. I picked it up, laughed, and went, fucking idiots, and just went and bought it.
That's what I did with...
I was a bit crushed because I had... I had the limited edition version of Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah.
Which had all these little cards and all the pictures and all the pullouts and everything that. And I traded it away, and that's just like because I always trade in my games, and I don't really give a crap after I've traded them in. But that was the one game I really, really regret giving away, because it would just be. It's got so much worth attached to it now.
Yeah.
Team Ico can go fuck themselves to me.
Why?
Because I've got abandonment issues now.
Yeah, they're never going to make that game.
No, I really want The Last Guardian.
Oh, you're in the same boat as me, mate. Oh,
it looks so fucking good. But to be honest, I know. But the thing is, you know from just the trailer what happens. Right, the animal dies saving him, and he probably dies alone later on in life, jaded and full of regrets.
Heart.
Yeah,
he died of a broken heart.
At the end of the game, he's on top of a hill listening to a My Chemical Romance album, taking black and white photos of the scenario.
You know what? I managed to go a year forgetting My Chemical Romance existed. Thank you fucking much, Ryan.
Don't worry, they split up.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, I never knew that.
All right. I'm sure I had something important to say then, but fuck it.
Are we all on fire?
Probably.
And only you can save us.
Yeah, balls, I've forgotten. Carry on.
Who here is looking forward to Charlie Murder?
Never heard of it.
Do you know the dishwasher?
I'm searching
games?
it on Google now.
There's a YouTube advertisement. There's a YouTube launch trailer. But did anyone play the dishwasher?
No.
Fucking educate yourselves, people.
They look like a bunch of My Chemical Romance fans.
That's kind of what reminded me, but the game is not My Chemical Romance. It's proper hardcore punk rock, but it's like Castle Crashers. But you play a punk band trying to take down this death metal band that are intent on taking over the world, and it looks awesome. It looks so good.
I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah, it's out next Wednesday on XBLA, I think, and it'll be a good excuse. It'll be a good excuse for me to pick up my Xbox again because I haven't touched it since I bought my PC. So
It'll probably get on PC as well eventually.
well, I don't know because the original Dishwasher game came out when I was at uni, like 3 or 4 years ago. The sequel came out about 2 years ago, and the sequel is only just making its way to PC. So I don't know if Charlie Murder will for a long time yet. But yeah, it looks really cool. I think it looks great. It's awesome. One of the last games of the Xbox 360 generation, which, speaking of new consoles and new generations, what do we make of the new launch dates for the PS4 and the Xbone?
Bullshit.
Were those the genuine release dates then?
I've just seen a report that
According
says,
to Toys R Us.
Yeah, Toys R Us have confirmed, and rather than backtrack and say, "Oh, we fucked up there," they've kind of gone. Yeah, these are the confirmed dates. I asked Jeffrey the cartoon giraffe, and he said it was totally true.
They're all smoking something weird in Toys R Us. I think I'll apply for a job there.
You've applied for a job at Toys R Us?
No.
I have.
It sounds
You know what? I have as well. When I was at uni, I applied, but the problem is, at the time, I was a really jaded, cynical, miserable bastard. So I knew while I was in the interview that I was coming across as a real wanker. And let me tell you, you have not suffered rejection when a cartoon giraffe tells you haven't got a job. You get the letter, and it's Toys R Us.
Is this in your acid phase?
No, there's a picture of Jeffrey the sodding giraffe in the corner, and Toys R Us just say, "Yeah, you're not really what we're looking for."
You're not really what we're looking for. Oh.
Yeah. It's like, thanks, Jeffrey. That softened the blow.
Thanks. You get the thanks for taking part a certificate.
Yeah,
or something.
thank you. Yeah, here's a gold star and a lolly. Thanks.
That's the best job rejection ever.
It's not. It's like
I'm going to apply to Toys R Us right now.
You think I'm that disappointed that you've got to soften the blow with an anthropomorphic giraffe? No. And I got a job in a corner shop.
That sounds not as good as Toys R Us.
It wasn't. I mean, Toys R Us
what
was
we
a
before?
place.
We just got sidetracked to Toys R Us.
We did, didn't we?
Yeah.
But yeah, people think... William, you said it was bullshit. You said that those...
I hate the... Wait, does James just get dropped?
We've lost someone.
We've lost James.
Oh, no.
I'll just invite him back in. But yeah, I think PlayStation have messed up along the way.
How so?
They're releasing it far too late compared to the Xbox. Xbox, they're bringing it out early November, aren't they?
Yeah.
Whereas PlayStation are bringing it out like halfway through December. It's just, I don't get it. I don't see why they had to release it so late.
It is weird, considering all of these, all of the massive games that are coming out at the time are like November and October, all that kind of stuff. And then they're releasing in December. I don't know why.
I actually think you can buy some PS4 games before you can buy the console.
What?
I think I seen that on Amazon. Some of the games come out in November.
That's weird.
That's a bit weird, but I don't see a problem with it. Like, you've kind of got your games waiting there, and you'll put them on your shelf, and you'll have like the date ticking down for when you'll be able to play them.
No,
actually get me quite excited.
Not cool. It's not cool because it will mean that YouTube will be fucking flooded with unboxing videos.
Oh, fuck.
This is me opening my copy of Watch Dogs. Unfortunately, I can't show you any gameplay footage, but I'm just going to remove cellophane now.
1 minute of cellophane removal.
Okay, so there's the box. That's what it looks like without cellophane. Let's open it up and have a look at the disc. As you can see, it's very flat and it's very round.
And it will be that. Just all over YouTube.
This sounds like a new documentary that should be made.
What did I miss?
You missed me having a go about unboxing videos and the terrible release date of the PlayStation 4.
It is way too close, I think, to
Absolutely.
Christmas.
Yep. There's not going to be enough to meet demand, or enough to meet demand in time. They really wanted to get that out there before then.
I reckon there's a little bit of corporate espionage going on there, though. I swear, because I mean, Microsoft have the resources just to say, hey, when's PS4 coming out? It's like, oh, so and so. All right, we'll do it earlier than that.
Yeah.
Just so spoiled children's parents will just say, oh well, this one's easiest to get hold of first. So and oh, you're not getting a PS4 now. You already got you an Xbox One.
Yeah.
I'd hate that.
Mums.
That would break my heart.
But Kinect is a good idea.
No.
I honestly think I might be the only person on TGR who actually really wants an Xbox One.
Okay, I'm interested as to why. Go on.
Sorry?
I'm interested as to why, because you think that like we do kind of rip on the Xbox One a lot. It's not at all like unprejudiced over here, but like I think it's kind of good that you've arrived when you have, because the last few weeks of podcasts we've properly fucking ripped into the Xbox. So I would like to hear from James why you're interested in the Xbox One.
I'm going to make it plain and simple. There's no grand designs on why. It's a simple case of it's not worse than the current Xbox, right?
Yes, it is.
So that I don't think from
it runs on Kinect. It might as well run on Dreams and Love.
No, but here's the thing, right? If they can genuinely prove that they have improved Kinect, that will be a incredibly valuable asset, right? Because Kinect is bullshit for games, but as an interface, it's an interesting concept, right? Admittedly, a bit roundabout. Right, I wouldn't consider it the main attraction, right? But I mean, as far as it goes, having a more, powerful version of a console I already have, I enjoy the IPs for, right? What's not to lose? I'm going to get both anyway, so it doesn't matter much. It's not going to take away from my gaming experience.
I can understand what you mean. Like, but I'm one of those people who just won't have enough to get both. I would love to have both, because I kind of do genuinely have a soft spot for the Xbox One now, after they've gone back on all those god awful decisions.
I'm willing to give it a try. Yeah.
I feel they haven't had they've been on a losing battle just through human nature. Everyone's been saying, "Oh, it's so shit. I hate Microsoft. They're so soulless because they're doing all these restrictions on data and stuff." It's like then they say, "All right, we'll get rid of that," and everyone's like, "Oh God, they're so evil. They don't stand by their own convictions."
Well, here's the thing. I've got no problem with them not standing by their convictions. The fact is, they thought they could get away with it, and it's the DLC thing all over again. They're gonna. I mean, Microsoft pretty much dropped a rock and said, "Deal with that, bitches," and then when we weren't prepared to accept it, they removed the rock. What this does mean, however, is you're going to see these incremental restrictions bit by bit by bit, and they're just going to see how far they can push it. They already tried with a real fucking doozy with this whole no lending, no borrowing, no rental, that kind of thing. And I would not be surprised if, as they can remove that restriction with the flick of a switch, they can reintegrate that with a flick of a switch.
Yeah, but when you think about it, right, the problem is people are making it out like this is they were the only people thinking about it. I mean, the thing, a year prior, PlayStation were talking about data restrictions and stuff, but then they realized that when they sort of saw the amount of shit Microsoft were getting on it, they thought, oh fuck, right, and they kind of sidled away, sort of thing, like, okay, never mind that one.
But here's the thing: how did Sony notice the amount of shit that Microsoft are getting, and Microsoft didn't? Why did they steam ahead on it? Why did they think they could?
This is the thing: the problem is it's a PR issue. That's what it is. It was just a case of shit marketing is all, right? And the fact is, any other business would have happened, every business, because they're all out there to make money one way or another. That's what they're there for, right? They would do it if they could get away with it. And Microsoft would have got away with it if they weren't just sat there saying, yeah, go on, why not? And everyone's like, what? Are you fucking retarded? And it was just a stupid direction for them to go in, is all, right?
Well,
and if they were more quiet, right, I reckon, they would have got away with it, and probably Sony would have gotten away with it. I mean, bearing in mind, you can't sell or lend Steam games to someone else, can you? Yeah, we don't kick up a huge fuss about that.
That's different though, because Steam is a much more accessible.
I get that.
It's dirt cheap as well.
Yeah, they have regular sales and things like that. Whereas like on XBLA, Call of Duty Black Ops is still like 40 quid or something like that, or 45, something
Steam
mental.
at least gives us something, like Steam at least gives us a good reason to go for them. Steam at least justifies the limitations.
Yeah.
Like,
But this
throwing us a bone here and there.
This is the thing that I would suspect, though, is even though I'm completely against the idea of a total digital takeover of everything, right? Because I like having a physical copy of something. But if it was a case where everyone was going, purely digital download, right? Then it would have to be a competitive service, right? They wouldn't be able to get away with charging 40 quid for a game. For a brand new game now, because you could just download a digital copy of something somewhere else, and you're not getting anything different because you're not getting a art book, you're not getting this, that, the other. You're literally just getting the game. So they would be forced into doing it at a competitive rate. And the thing is, I think people are sort of picking and choosing the things that they can hate on without really looking at the big picture and alternative situations.
I think what most people's problem is, though, is the apparent disdain that Microsoft showed for the consumer. It doesn't matter that they removed that restriction, or it doesn't matter that every other competitor may have considered that restriction. The way Matrick went about, justifying those restrictions, it was satire at it. You couldn't. Alan Partridge couldn't have fucked up that badly.
Deal with it.
The thing is, right? This is the thing. Everyone's saying it was so evil that it shows a lack of respect and everything. It's like the truth of the matter is, I don't want to marry Microsoft. I don't want it to pop the question, tell me it loves me. I don't want it to kiss my neck. I just want a fucking hand job from it. Right. I don't care about
That's DLC added extra. Sorry.
I don't care about whether they show any respect from them. I don't respect them, but I want a game from them. Right. All they are to me is a hooker. Right, that summarizes my view of the gaming industry. Right, they are just cheap whores, and I want my fix.
James, I am absolutely no clearer after that as to why you want an Xbox One.
I completely missed all of that because my shopping just arrived.
What? Oh man, you missed.
James, could you repeat that?
All right, basically, I want Microsoft to give me a hand job. That's the summary of it.
Oh wow, okay.
Which brings me to my new television show idea.
Is this like the Last Wish Foundation or something like that?
Sort of. It's called Who Wants a Hand Job from Microsoft.
Sponsored by Bernardo's.
Yeah, sponsored by
Microsoft
Bernardo's.
will just try and fuck you in the ass. Ba-bum.
Well, really, that's actually the season finale. Thanks for ruining that one. But basically 5 people, each of different worth, have to convince Handjob. Have to convince Microsoft why they deserve a handjob.
I like it.
Yeah.
Is this? Can we I don't know. We can spitball some ideas now. That's not a euphemism as well. How we could get Microsoft to give us a handjob?
What, like all 5 of us? I mean, one
just
after the
pitching
other.
Like, don't be shy. Just.
Are we implying that Microsoft is a multi-armed sort of being in a sort of Shiva sort of way, so is actually capable of giving multiple handjobs?
I picture it more as a Cthulhu than a
It's
Shiva.
just about
So we can at least get 3 more people out of this deal.
But technically, they're not really handjobs.
And a decent anime series.
Yeah.
This is tentacle. We're bordering on hentai now, though, because Cthulhu would be tentacles and shit, and I'm not sure if I'm comfortable here.
What were we talking about?
It's not about being comfortable.
No. I mean, the discomfort, I think, would be a little bit overwhelming at first, but after a while, I think the novelty of being given a handjob by a multi-million-dollar corporation, which has somehow sprouted metaphysical tentacles in which to pleasure you, I think your mind would just be so blown that
One
discomfort
employee
would
at a
even
time.
factor in.
Oh my god, this is just harboring horrible images of us all being done by some creepy fan artist into anime girls in school outfits.
I like to think that we're all sat in a row at the same time, looking at each other, kind of like, "Are we enjoying this? Should we be enjoying this? Are you enjoying this? Because I might be, but I kind of want to gauge your reaction. You're enjoying this. You're enjoying this. I think I am. I'll let you know." And we'll all
a new
emerge.
internet meme has been created.
We'll all emerge from Microsoft's office just with our jackets zipped right up and our hoods pulled over our heads, kind of shiftily looking at each other like, did that just happen? That just happened. So, see you for next week's podcast, guys. And then we'd never talk about it again. And we would
We're all a
take
bit
that
hollow
secret-
after the experience.
Absolutely. And like every time we turn our new Xboxes on, we kind of run very quickly back to the sofa in case it tries to grope us on the way.
I feel horrible about mentioning Bernardo's in the same sort of podcast.
So, do you want the Xbox One now, James?
I can't. Fuck it, yeah, why not? Slimy tentacles and all.
Ugh. Lovely.
I'm
on
glad
that horrific note.
I think this episode should be called Cthulhu Microsoft Handjob. Because, I mean, the episodes so far have been called Flatpack Grandad, Matrix Mattress, and now we've got Microsoft Handjob Cthulhu. I mean, how can you not love a web series with episode titles like that?
Who knows?
Well, it's just weird people will type weird things in Google trying to get their weird stuff, and it will just get linked to our website, to the gaming rig.
That's what we're aiming for.
Alan's not going to be happy when that happens.
Freaks from DeviantArt sort of come into our page now. Sort of thing, this isn't what I expected.
There's a man in a basement who's got a shelf full of rat fetuses in jars, and he just types that in, finds this, and goes, I think this is the podcast for me. And just has a little listen.
I'm just really praying there's someone out there with like small homemade dolls looking like all of us. And he just every now and again he just drops one of us into his fish tank, which has a small squid.
Oh, ow, ooh.
If you just joined us, you're
moving
listening
swiftly
to
on.
the Gaming Rig podcast, a podcast about video games.
Was it? Oh.
At one point it was. I don't know where it kind of fell apart, really. Ran about the hour mark.
We ran out of ideas and just got onto
Started going on about tentacle rape.
But, yeah, what was it? Yeah, the thing about the Xbox One, sorry, I had to go back to normality.
Yeah, thank you.
It still interests me as a console, but just for the sole fact that the business has tried to screw us over, just tried to screw gamers over. I don't feel that I can trust them. I'm still interested in their console. It's one I'm really going to let it develop before I go and buy it. Whereas the PS4, I'm completely sold on that, and I'm going to go. But no, the Xbox One, I'm just going to have a time to get used to it.
There's also the matter of price. Like, the Xbox One's incredibly expensive compared to the PS4. Like, a good £100 more.
They released the prices for the controllers as well. I don't know if they've done that for PS4, but it's almost as much as a game to buy another controller. So
isn't it like
£50
£50 on one of your thumbs or something, isn't it?
But then again, I suppose you are getting a free TiVo box essentially.
Yeah.
You know, I've already got
TiVo box.
I have one too.
No.
So, a walrus-like whinge of disappointment.
Making noises with the gaming rig.
Do you not have your soundboard this time, Ryan? I remember the last time I was on, it was the E3.
Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed by that. I don't have a soundboard to use, but like when we all just did a walrus impression, I just pictured, you know, that scene from The Sound of Music where the children all step forward and say their names. I kind of want somebody to do that, but just dub walruses over the top of it. State your name.
I'm downloading Sound of Music right now.
What's the name of the song when they're doing that? I'm trying to find it on YouTube.
I've unleashed a monster.
Everyone's typing now. Everyone's just going Sound of Music. We also endorse musicals here at this gaming rig.
Walrus music.
Walrus musicals.
How do you solve a problem like Finrot? Is the first song.
All right, everyone. We're going to be starting a new kick. We're going to be putting something on Kickstarter now. Right, we're going to be creating Walrus the Musical.
This be the monthly competition. We'll pitch this to Alan and just say, well, we'll get people to make the best walrus noise, and whoever does it gets to be in the video.
Wait a minute. You know, earlier I had an idea for a television show. I just had another.
Way!
Not involving Cthulhu or involving Cthulhu?
No Cthulhu. But basically, we challenge 5 zookeepers to remake a musical using only walruses.
Yes.
It's like the thing in Mass Effect 2 where they're going to make Hamlet with a full Elcor cast.
Yes. Yeah.
But messier.
I found one for you, Ryan.
Go on.
The guys from Fear are making a new, I think it's a survival horror FPS adventure game.
The guys from Fear?
Yeah. Yeah, it's called Betrayer.
The Betrayer, that's interesting. Let me look that up. In the meanwhile, speaking of Fear, there's something to bring up. Have you heard what they're doing with the Fear franchise?
Yes.
I have
What the bastarding wank tits is that all about?
Enlighten me.
They're turning Fear into a massively multiplayer online first-person shooter.
Because, when you think, horror
His
sort
APB was such a success.
Yeah, exactly. Look, oh my god. Do they give awards for missing the point?
Molyneux's got a dozen.
No!
No, Molyneux's got awards for missing the mark. There's a difference.
No, it's the Molyneux Award.
Well,
Probably
The
awarded it to himself.
The man's homeless. Give him a break.
is he homeless?
No, but he's
at
jobless.
Is it the E3 stuff for... Who was it?
He's hosting
Did it
shit.
for
but he's not-
Microsoft.
Is it IGN's E3 press conference?
Yeah, no, he was. Yeah. He was at the panel doing all the post
Yeah.
show stuff, and
And
He's quite
surprisingly,
funny.
he made sense.
You can find him in Whitechapel with a tin can asking to pitch ideas for money.
Well, speaking of which, did anybody hear? This is old news, but it kind of it was a ripple in the ocean. Nobody really gave a shit. Did anybody ever find out what the prize was for Curiosity?
Yes, it was. What happened is, you got to design and name a god in the next game, Goddess.
See, my understanding was that the winner would be the god in the next game.
Or maybe it was something like that.
Like,
and they
that
get to
guy-
make design decisions and stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
See,
it was.
I think that is actually a really good idea, to be honest.
Oh,
That's
and
cool.
they get
Yeah.
a portion of the money the Goddess makes.
Yeah,
Now that is even better.
that's
Yeah.
it's like Dark Souls 2. They did a thing for fans where you could design a shield for the next game, and the winner will just have that shield in there. Whether they make it a good shield or a really crappy starting shield
yeah.
is unknown, but that's kind of like a cool thing for PR, getting the fans involved, sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah. I do like when companies do that, like when kind of popularized by Nintendo sticking that gravestone in The Legend of Zelda Link to the Past, which somebody won a contest and they had their name put on a gravestone in a secret room. It's like, do you want to be dead in our next game? Enter our contest. And yeah. All the Nintendo kids, they loved that. They couldn't get enough of that, so they leapt on that.
I just got this image of this sort of quiet, small, Japanese guy in a suit behind the producers, and they just say, "Oh, we've got a winner. Make it happen."
I've just got an image of the 90s cartoon Zelda just stumbling
Well,
upon it.
excuse me,
Yeah.
princess.
Whoa, what's this over here? Here lies James Sunderland, 8 years. Oh my God, 8 years old. That's terrible. How did this happen?
Oh my
Jesus
God.
Christ!
Has anyone seen the CG pitch for a Zelda movie?
No.
Oh,
It looks awful. It really looks awful.
Luckily, it's not actually going
That's
to
not
happen,
true,
though,
no.
is it?
No, because
games don't make good movies. Oh, we
learned-
People learn.
well, it's also the fact that it's a silent protagonist game, but
Yeah, what are they gonna? Is it gonna be voiced by Kiefer Sutherland or something? What are they gonna voice? Joe Pasquale as Navi. Look,
Link!
over there.
That's
There's
actually
one of
my
the Goro tribe.
that's my ringtone. I've got Navi just going, "Hey, listen! Hey, listen!" So it's that annoying that it just makes you pick up the phone even if it's someone you don't want to answer.
Wow.
It's
Oh,
the
but-
perfect ringtone.
the best thing is the entire film has been given shit response by everyone, not because it looks like a bad idea, but simply because everyone thinks that Link's hair looks a little too emo.
What?
Is this going back to the Devil May Cry Dante reboot thing?
Fanboys are the worst.
Why do they care about that? All right, I can guess, like, if they make it massively different, then you know it's like not staying loyal to the game. But if the fringe is going over the forehead a little bit, there's nothing to be massively out.
See, I'm really interested to see where they're going to be going with the new, or not the new one, but the Wii U Zelda release that they are planning, because they've obviously decided they want to go with a lot more playful and childish sort of aesthetics and feel, right? Which is kind of insane when you think about it, compared to every other sort of game developer and every other console. All they can do is try and make things grittier and darker and shit. And
I respect that, though.
Oh no, I love it. I mean, Wind Waker, I think, is a masterpiece.
Yes, absolutely.
But I mean, I'm kind of glad and not at the same time. I think Twilight Princess was a very good game, and it has much more potential in a sort of, you know, more powerful console. Because I mean, it was brought out as a GameCube game originally. They can try and hide that as much as they want. I have the evidence sitting on my fucking game pile, but I mean.
Well, I mean, Toby, I know you're like quite a big fan of Zelda, and we've kind of been a bit loud this time. I know you haven't really spoken much. I mean, what do you make of, like, what would you want or would you not want at all, like a Zelda film?
No, I would not want a Zelda film. That's awful. It'd be the worst thing ever. It's like the Mario Brothers film.
No, the Mario Bros. Film was fucking amazing.
No, it was horrible.
It was amazing.
I was going to say,
I love that film.
Can you walk like a dinosaur?
I don't know how.
Go on, Toby.
Sorry, I got lost. Technically, we don't actually know where the next Zelda's going to go, because nothing's been seen from it. We don't know it's going to be cartoony. It could be like. They
have said they want to use the aesthetic from Skyward Sword.
If you look at how the Zeldas have released, but no two look the same. So I don't think no one really knows, to be honest. So I would stick with the unknown. I am.
Yeah, I think the only Zelda that seems to be a constant, or the only Zelda style that's been repeated, is the most controversial one, which is Toon Link. The cartoon Link is my favourite Link. I think he's got so much character, and that seems to be, and it interests me. I think people accuse Nintendo of not being very daring, but to take the most controversial version of one of their most respected characters and make him the most prominent one. Is really cool, and I love Toon Link. I'm one of the people who absolutely adores Toon Link. I think he's great. But Toby's right. Like, that's the only one that's seen repeat use. Every Zelda has its own aesthetic, even as far back as the old games, like your Zelda 1 and your Zelda 2. Like, even to go as far as to make one a side scroller,
one top down.
Absolutely, yeah. So. I don't know. I'm interested to see where they go with this new one. I have a feeling that they'll cut out the middleman and go for the Skyward Sword approach, where it's this half realistic, half cartoony look, and that's fine. I thought Skyward Sword was a beautiful game in places, not quite Wind Waker, but still a wonderful game. But yeah, just don't make a goddamn movie.
There's a new. Speaking of a film, there's not a film. I mean, Zelda. I saw that there's some. Cool, like little Lego. Someone's trying to make a Lego version of Zelda.
Yes,
but there's like mock-up plans of what it would look like.
Yeah,
that looks really good.
And they've got haven't they got like the tree, like the Kokiri tree? Like
they've got like everything. Yeah. They've literally everything, like Ganon and Link, awesome. Sheep, everything.
Awesome. Well, maybe that could be a release at one year in the future.
Zelda.
Yeah, well, they're already making a Lego film, which God knows how that's going to work. It's just going to be a load of brick or block-related puns, I think.
It would be awesome. It'll be like Batman and Robin with Mr. Freeze. I'll see you.
You and I have a very different concept of awesome.
Oh, God.
It's a full circle thing. It's like, it's so terrible, it just goes full circle and becomes awesome. That's Batman and Robin.
Yeah. I think that's why a lot of people enjoy the Super Mario Brothers in a non-ironic sense as well. They genuinely do enjoy it.
Hmm.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So,
Walrus.
earlier,
Chewbacca.
Thought we were going back to walruses, sorry.
have I told you, I did actually genuinely have this idea many, many years ago. I had an idea for a sitcom, and it was called Stuck in the Middle with Chew. And basically, it was
Yes!
just a suburban American household whose life is turned upside down by the arrival of Chewbacca, who doesn't understand how any of their technology works.
Isn't
Like-
that basically Harry and the Hendersons?
Yes, it is. But with Chewbacca, but every time Chewbacca does something wrong, like without fail, the family all put their hands on their hips and in unison go, Chewie! It's like, Mum, Chewie's just fed broken glass to the dog. Chewie! Mum, Chewie just put bacon
And you
sandwiches
dissed
in the
Batman and Robin.
I would have
Hang
thought
on.
you would have gone to the obvious Chew.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Very good.
Get a pen and paper. Oh, Chew. And like, at the end of every episode, he just looks at the camera, gives a little shrug, and a little circle closes in on his face before fading to darkness.
You've written the screenplay for this already, haven't you?
Oh god, I've got 6 episodes. In the first episode, he's going to dress up as a quarterback in order to help take the highly embarrassed daughter of the family to the prom. But he turns out he ends up getting himself stuck in a locker by one of the school bullies, and the chase is on to get Chewbacca out of the locker in time for the prom.
How would you get him in a locker?
Wookiee would just tear you up. I'm not even going to question it. I'm going to.
That's madness.
I
You
like
couldn't
that
get
you
a
waited
Wookiee in
that-
the locker.
It's a big locker.
That'd be a fucking huge locker. What kind of books is that kid storing in this locker?
Oh, I forgot to mention it's a meat locker.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Yeah, he gets stuck in a
What
meat.
school has a meat locker? This is like the school in Silent Hill or something like that.
Yeah. I forgot to mention. Actually, I didn't forget to mention. I didn't actually have the idea, but I am stealing that. The school is based in Silent Hill.
Okay.
Everything else in the Stuck in the Middle with Chew universe.
Is that
fine.
what is it? The headmaster's going to be Pyramid Head, and he's just going to make really quirky pyramid-related jokes.
No. The headmaster.
You missed the point.
Classic.
That's the only joke you can make, except for some really contrived one.
What's your angle?
Oh man. So yeah, video games.
Video what
games,
now?
guys. Video games.
I seen that Watch Dogs, the collector's edition.
Watch Dogs has a collector's edition.
Oh, does
Yeah,
it?
the
You
collector's
love the
edition.
collector's editions.
Yeah.
The collector's edition for PC is £66. Compared to the standard editions, which are £83.
Wow, that's pretty. I've noticed Ubisoft doing that a lot. Rayman Legends is coming out on the consoles at 35, 40 quid. 25 quid on the PC. You can already buy it on Steam for 25 quid.
Yeah, the pre-purchase.
Yeah.
It's Rome Total War 2 as well.
I pre-ordered the
slashed that
collector's.
down to 20 quid.
Yeah.
It's not even out.
I've pre-ordered the collector's for Rome 2, so I will have my homemade catapult by next month, hopefully. Is it next month? No, 2 months' time.
Where'd you pre-order that, James?
Game?
Shit.
I've been had.
You've had a bad experience with Game, though, haven't you? On pre-ordering.
Yeah. They
Well,
always screw it up for me.
But the thing is, you have bad experience with Game because of people like me. Because you'll have it nicely pre-ordered, right? Like, say, the Songbird edition of Bioshock, and then a dick like me just walks in and just goes, "Can I have a Songbird edition? Do you have a pre-order? Nope. Here you go."
Oh, you lucky shit.
They really do that. That's pretty bad.
And it's like, and they're like, "So, are you Dave Stevens?" Yeah, why not?
Yes.
Are you Cassie Bennett? Yeah.
Yes.
Just walk out of that and clearly walking past the person about to pick up their game. See ya, fucker.
Give him a little wink on the way out. So,
I do
I'm
have
looking
one.
forward to this game if my name isn't Cassie Pearson. And you're walking out like...
I do have one pre-order in game at the minute.
What's that?
What's that?
Splinter Cell.
Let's talk about this, because there was some controversy about this over on the TGR Facebook messaging system, which you can't be a part of, listeners, because it's only us.
Jealous.
So yeah, tell us about that, guys.
Well, I pre-ordered it in game at the collector's edition because it comes with a pretty nifty statue.
And James is looking to steal it, presumably.
No, he doesn't want anything to do with it.
But I'll still steal it just because that's how I get my jollies. But I mean, I'm like a sort of Grinch of game, but I am completely against. Well, I'm not completely against. That's going a bit strong. But I have just become so jaded with stealth games now. They are so shamelessly not being stealth games anymore. I mean,
Mark of the Ninja.
oh yeah, well yeah, that one was actually quite masterful. I've got to admit, but. AAA ones, I suppose, right? Conviction was the most horrendous one for me because I adored Double Agent, right? I thought that one was perfectly delivered and nicely constructed, right? And then along comes Conviction with the thing like, so stealth game, why don't you just hit this button and everyone dies? And it's like, well, that was good stealth, even though I just pressed a button, shot a very loud gun at 8 people. And somehow, there's no people left on the level, so just drop through. And it's like
Cell Conviction very much felt like a game going, hey, you spilt some stealth in my action game?
Yeah, that's how it definitely was. And it just feels like with, for instance, Assassin's Creed, good games, but no longer stealth games. The first game, yes, you could hold your own if you got into a fight, but genuinely speaking, unless you were near the end of the game, you'd get fucked over if you weren't too stealthy.
I've been saying this. Assassin's Creed games. They're assassination games with no assassinations anymore.
Yeah, and it's like,
it used to be all about, going around and, picking out your target, finding out where they're going to be really carefully, and it felt like you were working towards something, whereas now it's just, well, oh yeah, you can assassinate people, but you have a ship!
We would be remiss, however, to forget that the first Assassin's Creed was shit.
I really loved it.
It had its faults were its charms as well. It's
the only thing I didn't like was the American accent.
Accept that. Its faults were its charms.
The first Assassin's Creed game there was a lot of things wrong with it, but I could tell that something better was going to come along in the next game. And Assassin's Creed 2 is awesome.
Well, while I was playing the game, I thought something better would come along in the next 2 hours, but it didn't. People just spoke at me. Just talked and fucking talked. And then I rode a horse over a desolate, dusty wasteland. And I thought, this is like living in Hull.
Ryan Scully on the Middle East.
My favourite thing to do in Assassin's Creed was just start fights.
Yeah, that was always fun.
I spent hours doing that.
It's kind of like a medieval GTA in a way.
Fight. There are games out there where the point is to fight. You don't have to start your own.
Yeah.
Just saying. Like Bayonetta, you haven't got a choice. Assassin's Creed. If Assassin's Creed is only fun when you're plunging the whole game world into anarchy, it's not really a very good game.
Where you're throwing corpses off the roofs into the hordes of children.
Hordes of children?
Hordes?
Hordes!
These people that are hordes to children, or like children that are... Don't answer that. Continue.
But as I was saying before, I mean, stealth games now seem like they have to... I hate using this because it's so pretentious, right? But dumbing it down, so... I hate that term. I really hate the term. But they have to dumb it down because they don't have any faith in the gamer to think that they think that we have the attention span of a crack-addicted monkey. It's like, unless I can fire a machine gun in the next 5 minutes, I'm just going to rip my eyeballs out. Shit all over the carpet. It's like, people buy a stealth game to be stealthy. We don't need to be patronised by saying, oh yeah, by the way, here's a minigun section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was why Assassin's Creed 3 goes down as like my biggest disappointment of last year, because it was all about like, you know, the free running and the climbing, and it just did it for you. You held down R1 or something, and or circle or something like that, and you just climb up everything. You'd just be there in like a flash.
I thought that was really elegant. I liked that about Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, but you don't want to play Heavy Rain.
Too easy.
Yeah. Did you play Heavy Rain? I just thought that was a film that you like hit buttons to.
That has horrendous French American voice actors.
Jason.
Yeah.
What I really hated about Assassin's Creed 3 was the only assassination was at the very end.
You've got to work for that, Creed, mister.
Yeah.
I suppose it's like trying to go the same way as like sort of 80 films where the namesake is the punchline kind of thing. It's like, wow, you really assassinated him. Oh!
Glad to have you as one of my Creed. And then they high five, and he goes, "You're the best around." And the credits roll. No, it's a freeze frame
with the American flag superimposed on the background.
It's like Tomb Raider. I love the new Tomb Raider. Didn't see a lot of fucking tombs.
Yeah.
Gotta say, much as I loved it, I
still haven't played the new Tomb Raider. I was just never enticed by it.
Very good. You know, cast your assumptions to the wind. It is a third-person shooter. It is more gunny than you might expect from a Tomb Raider game, and there are QTE takedowns. Still very good.
You dissed Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, 'cause it's shit. No, that's not true.
One you're playing at the moment, Ryan, is was it Dishonored, right? Now, Dishonored is a very good game, right? But it's another, not as bad, not as much of a case, but it's still a little bit lost in translation, where they say, oh yeah, you enjoying this tense stealth movement with the hint of magic? Oh, well, you know, if you're getting a little bored, here's a gun.
Yeah.
Right? A very loud gun.
That's Dishonored's greatest asset and its biggest flaw at the same time.
And I do like the fact that the majority of the time, unless you're near the end, you will actually get fucked over if you do start a fight, like in the middle of a town centre, right? But it just feels like a bit kind of a backward step when you're thinking, oh, fuck, this is tense. I'm like hiding in the shadow when it's got true line of sight stealth, which you don't get anymore.
Yeah.
Right? It used to, now all you get is if you have your indicator going below a certain colour, you are invisible. In this one, if you're like fucking poking your head out like a retard, you will get spotted.
The only thing I'll say though is that's Dishonored's first game. That's the first time making a game like that. Yeah. Assassin's Creed had 5 games to perfect this, and they still haven't done it.
Yeah.
And they're still making all the money, and it's really irritating.
And one thing I will say about Dishonored as well is like it worked the kind of binary choice thing. Like you can either go nuts with a gun, or you can go like the stealthy approach. And one thing which a lot of people didn't really pay much attention to, because it's one of those take it or leave it things, Dishonored's achievements reflect that, and that is a very good reason to try both approaches. I find there are separate achievements for playing the game through like stealthily or playing the game through like a murderous psychopath, and I think a lot of people overlook that because achievements are those things we kind of take for granted. And I think, like as I said, the whole binary, you can either shoot or you can either stealth thing, is both Dishonored's greatest asset and its worst. It's the worst because it's not smooth. Like you're either one or the other. There is no in between. But at the same time, you have 2 playthroughs worth there. If you want to play through the whole game stealthily, you can. If you want to be a murderous bastard and see the different ending, you can do that. And believe me, having played a mission once and then replayed it with the opposite approach, it does feel like 2 completely different games.
My issue was with Dishonored is just because I went through the stealthy, trying not to kill anyone approach, and it was just a bit. It just wasn't that fun when I was just trying to knock everyone out.
A lot of people have said the same thing. A lot of people agree with you.
There's a lot of potential for it. I don't think it was a bad game. I was just disappointed with a few things. Like the ending, I was really enjoying the story, and then the ending's really abrupt. It's just like, well, spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't played Dishonored. You can, cover your ears now. But just like when you get to the final mission, you get the princess or whoever it is, and then just boom, credits roll. And it's like, okay.
I haven't actually got that far. I never finished it because when it first came out, it was glitched up the arse. I'm playing it now that it's patched, so I never actually got to the end.
Here's something though, Vinny. What everyone says it's played the DLC. Apparently, the Knife of Dunwall is better than the actual game story.
And I'm finishing the full game, and then I'm going on to the Knife of Dunwall, and there's a new one coming out as well, which concludes the Knife of Dunwall.
The witch one. I don't remember its name.
See, I think of it less as a stealth game now and more of a sort of Deus Ex sort of kind of game where it is, as you were saying before.
Thing.
Oh yeah, I know, but I think I do enjoy it more when I think of it in that sense of because this is a strange one, but a game that got stealth or assassination missions quite nicely was sounds strange, but Oblivion.
Yes.
Right, because you know. You would get a bonus if you made it look like an accident sort of thing by loosening the screws on a stag head above the finger, and they do put that into Dishonored, right? And of course it's Bethesda anyway, but
yeah,
I mean you get that moment where it's like, oh yeah, I could walk up to that guy and slit his throat. Or, you know what, I could go down this way, sneak into here, find this incriminating document, right, and then give it to a guy to blackmail him and sell him into a salt mine.
And that's one thing...
I might play Dishonored again now.
That's one thing all three games have in common, Deus Ex, Oblivion, and Dishonored, is the amount of exploration you can do in them. And that, too, is great. Like, in Oblivion, you can do exactly that example you gave. In Deus Ex, you can sneak through a vent, or if you've got this perk, you can climb up this, or if you've got this perk, you can carry a heavy object and use it as a stepping stone. And I think, like, there needs to be more of that in games. A lot of the time when people give you choice, it's like, you can have a minigun or some roller skates. And it's like, well... that's a very binary option. If I'm given a set of tools and I use my own wit, my own imagination, in the original Deus Ex, you could exploit that physics system to make a set of steps that stretched out of the skybox. Some might call that a little bit pants, myself included. But the fact is the game trusts you with that freedom and makes that freedom like part of the experience. And Dishonored, again, is, yes, it does tie you down a little bit via the stealth route or the action route, but the manner in which you can go about every level and the tools it gives you to do that are nothing short of fantastic. And I think more games need that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I'll just put my soapbox under there.
No, I think those are some brilliant points, right? I mean, it's that also a backward level of freedom that really needs to come back. Right, for instance, going to Oblivion again, that had a great amount of it that you could exploit because people call it exploiting. I call it use of initiative, right, which is something games don't have anymore, where you can not abuse the physics but use the physics, right? And it's like with Skyrim, they refined a lot of things, whereas in Oblivion, if you jump on the spot for a week, right, you will be able to jump over a house if need be. Right, and that can be very useful if you're like a thief or an assassin, where some guy's coming after you and you just fucking leap over the castle walls, right, into the moon where they'll never find you, and like some kind of weird cat burgling superhero. But like in Skyrim, they said, "Oh shit, this freedom's getting a bit too risky," right? And it's like because admittedly, it was just number abuse, really. X amount of this stat will make you go higher. If you exceed this, you'll go an insane amount until you break the skybox and, you know, meet God. But, I mean, it was something that was brilliant because when you have that ability, it takes away this linear route that the developer's limited frame of mind can give you and brings it out to everyone. And that's when that was back in the generation where, you know, people used to come up with ideas and cheats were made up that never existed, but people still said it and you believed it. Right? I shit you not. On Ocarina of Time, well, this is bad for physics, but back onto the cheat side here, I swear to God, I chopped the sign in front of the well in the village 100 times and 100 times played Zelda's Lullaby to make it regenerate, jumped down there and went through the well, full-heartedly thinking that I would find a secret area where I'd get the rainbow tunic. And you know what? I wept that night.
I remember when I was in year 5, or no, maybe not year 5, probably year 6 or year 7. Alan Williams of the Gaming Rig told me a Tomb Raider nude cheat to get Lara Croft nude. I still haven't forgiven him for that cheat.
Didn't even know him that long. That's crazy.
Yeah, I've known Alan for years and years and years. Since before I was even 10, I'd say.
I was going to say before I was even born.
Like, I was with the Gaming Rig before it was cool. I knew Alan since before he was born. Which is weird because he's older than me.
I'm his father.
But I am a Time Lord, lest we forget.
Yeah.
So, I think we're probably going to need to wrap this up in the next 15 minutes or so. So, I want to talk about dolphins.
Dolphins.
Not really.
Oh.
Our dolphins.
Oh, they have a Kickstarter for Echo the Dolphin.
Ooh.
Ugh.
Fell right into my trap. It's not actually true. That's just complete coincidence.
You know, I actually feel really ashamed because I just manly fist pumped when about an hour ago I was making an argument about how it's shit that all we're doing is remaking 2D games.
Having said that, my memory of Echo the Dolphin is the game that every child I knew owned, and none of the fuckers knew how to play it.
Yep, I never knew what
Every
to do.
time you went round someone's house, it's like, what do you do in this game? And they're like, I don't know, I'm stuck. And it was the beginning. Everyone was stuck at the beginning, and they were just going around firing sonic beams at other dolphins, and they were giving really cryptic clues like, the sparrow flies over the cucumber in November. And nobody knows how to play Echo. And when you finally figure it out, like I did, because I played it when GameFAQs was a thing, or you know,
Game winners.
Oh man, Game Cheater. Does anyone remember Game Cheater?
I remember them. Do you remember the Games Guru on what was the show called again?
Oh yes,
Fucking
I can't
Gameville.
remember that. Yes.
Gamesville.
I don't remember Gamesville.
I remember
had a-
Game Master.
They
I
had,
remember
a,
Games Master with Patrick Moore.
they had a Games Guru who would give cheats once a week.
Wow.
And he was just a paedophile in a cloak, but you know.
And the cheats were never for games I had.
Yeah, they were like for really obscure Amiga games. Because all the kids have moved on to consoles, and there's that one nerdy one who's a single kid, and he's like, in Shadow of the Beast, how can I make my jumps higher? And then the Games Master would tell him, Patrick Moore pretending to know what he spoke about. Just tell
As he
cheats
sits in a
children.
puddle of his own urine.
Oh yeah, the Echo the Dolphin Kickstarter did not get to its goal.
Yeah, because nobody's completed the original yet.
Yeah, it got like
It's some shit to do with aliens.
it got 55,000 out of 665,000.
Oh dear.
Why would
Well-
it need that much to remake Echo the Dolphin?
The world just isn't ready for that dolphin. It's a shame.
They were gonna motion capture the dolphin.
Oh my god, it's like, Echo the Dolphin has been delayed. Our stunt dolphin's really upset. He's not coming out of his aquarium until
And he
gets
mauled one of the producers.
That was the idea of the original Echo, wasn't it?
What, that he
Maul the
just-
producer.
The producer. Psycho the Dolphin. He just goes around like ramming other fish in the face.
Here's a
Spearing
use-
them in his nose like a kebab.
I'm
Here's a
surprised no
useless-
one has made a Mark Fish pun during all this Echo the Dolphin talk.
Arc Fish.
Mark, what's his
Phil
name?
Fish.
Phil
Phil-
Fish, that's it. It was
I'm sure you'd have got the name right. That would have been hilarious.
Wow.
I'm sure. No, wait. Let's Google this shit. I'm sure there is a Mark Fish out there that we can link some joke to.
What does Mark Fish
Where did I get
do?
Mark from? Who was the fellow that was insulting him on Twitter? Was that Mark Beer?
Marcus Beer, I think.
Marcus, yeah, that's
All right. Well,
Anthony Fish is a retired South African footballer.
Did you see that?
you beat me to it.
A load of news websites were just reporting
that's
it
where I got Mark
as
Fish from. He was a Charlton Athletic player. Sorry, Will.
they're just reporting it as surnames. So it was like Fish said to Beer and Beer said to Fish. It would sound so weird.
Oh, it would have been great if they got in a fight, because then they could have run
Fish battered in beer.
Fucking beat me to it!
Oh,
Battered fish. Oh.
That's going to be a new fighting TV show.
It's like one of those.
this
comedy
should, do you guys watch Death Battles? Because that should be a new Death Battle video.
Oh,
No one.
God.
complete silence. You should search death battles on
Oh,
YouTube.
I know Death Battle, but
I prefer Fish Fight.
Fish fight.
here's an interesting fact. I have slapped a dolphin in the face.
What?
did-
Why?
Well, here's the thing, right? It was a rather hot summer, so dolphins migrated into Plymouth Sound, right?
Okay.
I happened to be in a dinghy that had dolphins come beside it, right? And it's within reach, and it's like, wow, this is an amazing thing, right? And everyone says, it's a surreal moment in your life where you get to see the dolphins or swim with dolphins or all that bollocks, right? And I thought, how many of those hippies can say they've slapped a dolphin, right? So I slapped that fucker right across the chops.
How did it react?
It just swam off. I had my fucking chest puffed out high. Right, I was so
somewhere in the ocean. There's a really delusional dolphin. All the other ones are like, humans are great. They treat us with respect. They talk to us on our level. There's this one in the corner who's fucking humans.
right. And my next task is to punch a whale.
Punch a whale.
Yeah.
What kind of whale? It depends. If it's like
Either a killer whale. Either a killer whale or a blue whale, whichever comes first.
Killer whales are like even more dangerous than sharks.
Yeah, well,
sharks.
See, no, I'm fine with that, right? Because my chosen way of dying, if I have to die anyway, is by slapping a mandrill in a pack of them and just see how far I can run.
Mandrill?
Yeah, they're like baboons, but like vicious.
Terrifying.
Isn't that one of them monkeys that eat other monkeys?
Kind of, yeah.
Oh my god, they are scary.
I just want to happy slap one and see how far I can get.
You know what I'd like to do with a dolphin? While it's asleep,
Oh, God.
while it's asleep, pour rice pudding in its blowhole, and then leap up behind it and go boo, and just see if it like scatters rice pudding everywhere.
It'll probably
It's
just...
going to be in the water,
like that
so it's
and
going to be
die.
really hard to do that.
He's semi-submerged.
Semi-submerged.
Yeah, his blowhole's poking out the top. You just fill it with rice pudding.
I just love the fact it probably wouldn't react at all and it just sinks to the bottom of the ocean.
He died a creamy death.
I have to admit, that is the best possible outcome. That story you're about to tell about a sleeping dolphin's blowhole could end with the word creamy death. That is the best outcome we could have hoped for.
Good bloody grief. Jesus. Oh no.
Well,
What have we done?
Yeah.
I can't believe you
Video
slapped a
games, anyone?
dolphin.
what?
I can't believe you slapped a dolphin.
I can't believe you haven't.
You're like one of the
I've
most
seen
gentle,
dolphins out in the wild. I thought
intelligent
they were
creatures.
Lovely.
Yeah, exactly, and they didn't know their fucking place.
They came to say hi. It's like, oh hi, not fellow humans, but hello, lovely tourists. What do you push?
I'm upset with you, James. I love dolphins.
If it's any consolation, I broke my nose that day.
That's karma.
How did you do both things in one day?
Well, I was on a
break your nose or was
Dolphin punch back.
No, but I did have a great sense of fear because I got smashed in the face by a sail on a boat, or by the what's it called, like the beam or whatever the fuck it's called.
Boom, I think it's called.
Right, got smashed in the face by that. Went off the boat, in there for a while with a bleeding nose. Realised, shit, that dolphin probably remembers me.
I reckon that dolphin was under the boat, just like, moving a little component just a little bit towards it.
As James becomes the first ever human-related dolphin death. No, dolphin-related death by a human.
Oh god.
Oh my word. So yeah, I think we spoke about games this week. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it's about games this week. Games? Did we talk
What on
about
earth is that?
games? I don't know. What are games? Do we play them? Do anybody here play games?
There's only one you need to know of, and that's Plock.
Yes, which is now a web series, a webtoon, a webisode.
Clock.
Plock.
Plock.
P-L-O-K.
Plot.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. It looks.
I don't know why, but when you
don't-
say that, I feel dirty.
Don't look at it. Go on YouTube and listen to the theme tune for Plock, because it will make your day the best day ever.
I'm
It's
getting
like an
followed,
evolved
but
form
you
of-
can now follow Plock on Twitter.
Oh my god! It's
Plock
just him
follows
continually
me.
going, "Where are my limbs?" Why do I have no limbs?
We see, it's really weird now because now they call him Plock the Explosion Man.
The Explosion Man.
That's just confusing.
We've already got Explosion Man.
Exactly.
Oh, well,
There's gonna be gripes made.
There's gonna be beef.
There's gonna be beef, chicken, pork, whole fucking roast dinner.
It's gonna be a veritable butcher's meat locker.
And we're back to the fucking meat locker with a Chewbacca in there.
He's mediating the whole thing. That's the spin-off series. Chewbacca copyright lawyer.
Or meat referee.
Everything he says is just like beef-related puns.
Oh god, I could do a chicken one, and that's no yoke, but that's about it. That's the only joke I know in the world.
The problem is, Chewie would have to have an interpreter to make the jokes for him, which would kind of take a lot of the oomph out of the jokes. Because Chewie would just go, and the other
Would it have one of those guys for the hard of hearing at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen as well?
No,
yeah.
It all depends if they react to him as like laughing, as if they understand him, or they need to be interpreted to as well, right? Because if that's the case, like then it would be sort of ruined if he goes and everyone goes and then they interpret it to you, right? But then they could like put a bit of a CSI Miami spin on it, right? Where he'll go and then he'll just zoom into his interpreter and he'll just deliver it in perfect dry.
Could it be Peter Molyneux doing a Lloyd Grossman impression? That'll be his interpreter.
It just zooms in on Chewbacca's head, and it's just a confused-looking Peter Molyneux pacing back and forth in a room, just interpreting what Chewie just said.
No, it's Peter Molyneux playing Curiosity.
I love the idea that that's what's become of his career. It's the only job he can get.
Pace, what? What job do you have? I pace back and forth inside Chewbacca's head. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to the Gaming Ring podcast. A podcast supposedly about games.
If you've reached the end,
Well
get yourself a fucking medal.
Round of applause, guys. That was beautiful.
What the fuck are we doing with our lives?
I don't know. Let's end on something game-related. Super Mario, Tomb Raider, Pac-Man Space Invaders, Tempest.
Plot.
Last Guardian being made.
What?
Last Guardian is being made. That's the last game.
It's not being made.
It'll
Just
be-
before we genuinely, legitimately wrap this up and offer our heartfelt apology to everyone that listened to this, what are we all doing for the website in the future?
I'm going to be doing same as usual, news, and I'll probably try and get more video reviews done.
Fantastic. Vinny, yourself?
Who is it who did the recently freaky video review? We should put that out there for the
the
user
Cry of
base.
Feel.
Yes.
Oh, that was Will.
That was William, yeah.
That was just a little play of it, and it scared the absolute head off me.
Cool.
I
It was
didn't
very,
enjoy.
very entertaining to watch.
I didn't
Two more
enjoy it.
Scary games.
There was a bit where I screamed to the top of my lungs, and the microphone fell over.
Is that the bit where the head appears?
Yeah.
Oh, that scared the shit out of me when I played it. Nearly turned the bloody game off.
I think I did for a couple of minutes.
Vinny, what are you doing for the site?
I'm going to be carrying on with a couple more reviews. Got some games off the Steam Summer Sale and Deadpool the game. Got to review that. And just looking out for any more interesting news to talk about. Make some articles, stuff like that. I recently did an article on the EA price hike and just ripped into EA. So hopefully something like that will happen again, so I have something to write about.
Fantastic. Toby, what about yourself? Can we look forward to some more reviews from you or some more features from you?
Yes, I should be continuing my reviewing. I've got a couple things I need to do, and general bit of news every now and again.
Cool. Nice one. And finally, James, who's entered into some radio silence but has come back with a plum. What do you have planned for TGR?
Well, since they've not managed to get the triple homicide to stick, right, I can finally start moving on to that massive pile of reviews that are almost completed, and they currently have like flies circling them and shit.
Are you doing Last Light?
I have Last Light amongst about 6 other things almost completed.
Yes.
Me and Will nearly started reviewing that. So we were waiting. We loved that game. We thought it was awesome.
It's almost it is basically done. It just I'm finally free to do shit.
Yeah.
Right. Now I'm not saying I'm like Nelson Mandela, but you know, shit's gonna get done now.
And as for myself, a little bit quiet on the review front for the time being. I'm concentrating on getting these podcasts sorted out and making sure that they're all somewhat game related. So we're off to a fantastic bloody start, I suppose. Thanks everybody for listening to this quite inane episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Next week we might even talk about games. From me and everyone at the gaming rig, word out to your mother.
Keep it slippy.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.